Hi, my name is Trez Burton, and I want to address something right now that's been burning my blood all day. And I'm sure every conservative Republican across the country is just as pissed as I am. And that is over the runoff election in Mississippi for the United States Senate, where conservative Tea Party backed candidate Chris McDaniel dared to challenge six-term incumbent Thad Cochran. Thad Cochran has been in D.C. since 1973, which is as long as I've been alive. He went there originally representing Mississippi's 4th District, and he's been a senator since 1978. If you heard him speak today, the man is barely coherent. I mean, he's not all there. All his faculties aren't in order. I mean, the man slurs. He really needs to go home. I mean, if the voters don't do it, he really needs to go home on his own, because the man should be in bed somewhere having his soup brought to him. Anyway, he's part of the old Republican guard, this liberal Republican clique who feels like they own the Senate, and they've been there 20, 30 years, and they don't take kindly to being challenged. I mean, I think they still pissed that we knocked off Dick Lugar in Indiana. They might still be pissed over that, because he was one of their homeboys, and we picked him off. We didn't win the general in that one, but I mean, we still succeeded in picking off one of their buddies, and they really don't take kindly to that. And now when Chris McDaniel, he beats Cochran in the original primary, but he didn't get 50% of the vote, 50 plus 1% of the vote. So there was a runoff. Desperate to save their friend, the GOP establishment, and I'm almost ashamed to say this, the GOP establishment stooped to using tactics, race baiting, fear-mongering tactics that the Democrat Party has been using against them for the last 50 years. The GOP establishment stooped to using those same tactics against the Tea Party, saying that the Tea Party is racist, which is already ingrained in people's heads, because these are the same. This is the same rhetoric that the Democrats have been using against the Tea Party since we first became prominent in 2010. And that was the first year that we proved that we could win elections. So everyone, both Democrat and Republican establishment, since then they've been ramping up their defense against us and ramping up their offense also, because the Republican Party is totally on the offensive now. They before it originally they would pretend that, they embraced us, and oh yeah, we welcome the Tea Party, and yeah, we need more citizen candidates and stuff. But now, all that's over. They have pulled out all the stops, and they don't even pretend to like us anymore. So with Chris McDaniel, if you hear the ads, because I'm upset over the election and the Republican Party stooping to race baiting to save their friend Thad Cochran. There's another aspect to this whole thing, and that is the role that black voters played in it. Now, black voters, which it's no deep dark secret that 95% of us march our dumb asses to the polls every 2, 4, and 6 years and pull the lever for Democrats. Just vote the whole Democrat line. We've been doing it for 50 years. It's not a secret. Everyone knows we're that ignorant. So, what went on is, okay, if the ads were made and pamphlets were printed up, flyers were printed up, with a bunch of race baiting rhetoric saying that if you vote for Chris McDaniel, that he belongs to the Tea Party, and when he gets to Washington, he's gonna he's going to strengthen the Tea Party, and they don't want black people to vote, and they're going to ban fried chicken. I mean, just all of this nonsense. Really, everything short of saying that the Tea Party is going to round us up and send us back to Africa. I mean, just the rhetoric was sick, and it was coming from the Republican Party. And I don't know, it was just completely shameful. I mean, I wish if I had it on hand, I would run it right now. But I've been hearing it all day on all my favorite radio shows. And I don't know, it's disgusting. And you expect this from Democrats. I mean, just mindless, moralist people. I mean, all they care about is power. So when they do things like this, I don't like it, but at least I get it. I understand it. All they're after is power. And they will manipulate anyone any way they can. That's why they keep us split into groups. You hear them talking like, the gays and women and, the whole fake war on women thing, and they're the Hispanics, and they think that amnesty and embracing illegals is going to, make a permanent voting block out of Hispanics, the same way they were able to make a permanent 50-year voting block out of blacks. Because they've owned us since 1964. Again, not a secret. So, what they did this time was they made a bunch of ads, and if you were to hear them or read the flyers, you can hear where it caters to black people. It caters to black voters. And whenever, I don't know, whenever they want to incite, and usually the left does this, but again, this time it's the Republicans doing this, to excite black voters, they always mention that the person they don't want you to vote for wants to cut welfare. So to get us excited about an election, they mention cutting welfare. And the part that disappoints me so much, because I'm pissed at how the election went, but I'm disappointed on a whole different level over blacks' role in this. And one is how easily manipulated we were by these ads. And two is the way we don't even hear ourselves being condescended to. And only liberals do this. Because, again, the GOP, this is coming from the GOP establishment, but they're liberals by and large. And blacks do not even hear themselves being condescended to. Because a party who feels that the only way to they know that to get you excited about an election, all they have to do is mention cutting welfare or cutting some sort of benefit that you're getting. And that's what's in these ads and in these flyers. They're talking about, if you vote for Chris McDaniel, he's going to cut welfare. He's going to cut, he's going to cut your college tuition. He's going to cut this. He's going, so obviously what that language says is that they understand how dependent black people are on the government. So to get you excited, what they mention is what the government is going to cut. And I'm so disappointed to see how it worked like a charm, because 35,000 Democrats voted in this runoff election and pulled Thad Cochran over the finish line. Well, drug him over the finish line. He can barely stand up these days. And I don't know. And none of them are going to support him in the general election. And I'm willing to bet that most of those black voters couldn't point him out of a lineup, didn't even know who he was before these ads. And we're so quick to play the victim that, I don't know, as soon as an ad runs, saying in 2014, in the age of tech, in the information age, the age of technology, that old slave rhetoric still works on us. So I was disappointed by that. I mean, you know, you can be that easily manipulated and scared into voting for someone just by using this race baiting rhetoric that, oh, this guy's going to do this, and and he wants to go back to the days of slavery, and he's going to burn a cross on your yard. And I don't believe that kind of talk works on people in 2014, the information age. I mean, that is absolutely shameful, but it happened. It worked like a charm. And I kind of understand why congressmen and senators are so arrogant, because we show them how ignorant we are. We send them back time after time. I mean, how can they not be arrogant when you're dealing with an ignorant electorate, and blacks in particular this time? I mean, oh my God, we have sunk to new lows on. So I mean, the Republican Party, the party of Reagan, the party of personal responsibility, hard work, low taxes, self-governance, ran ads supporting welfare, dependency, all of the things that we're supposed to be against. And now that we pulled this old bastard over the finish line for in the runoff, he's going to pretend to be the conservative in the general, and everyone's going to buy it. I mean, I gotta say, I'm disappointed in you, Mississippi. I gotta say, I have to say, one of the most conservative states in the union. I mean, I can understand that sort of garbage happening in New Jersey, where I'm at right now, but Mississippi, really? I mean, McDonald should have. I mean, he would have won without the Democrat votes. He would have won by, say, maybe 8 or 9 points. But he should have buried Lugar. And Mississippians, there is no way in hell that you guys should have fallen for Cochran. I mean, really? What has he done for you lately? He say he's bringing home the pork. Now, he needs to bring himself home. He probably hasn't even seen, he probably goes to Mississippi, what, every 5.5 years? Shake a few hands and, and you guys send him right back. I mean, that's going on all over the country. But, I mean, I'm just truly disappointed. Blacks, as we have done for liberals over the last 50 years, in this race, we willingly played the role of useful idiot. Yes, that's what we were this time. And so many times before, but it just shines this time. We have played the role of useful idiots in yet another election. And pretty soon, because the president that your president, the president that you're so crazy about, the black president, oh, that's my nigga. Yeah, a lot of y'all say that when he got elected. Yeah, your man, Barack Obama, and the party that you're so crazy about, that you vote for, that you vote for and have been voting for loyally for the last 50 years. What they're doing right now is they are importing an entirely new underclass. That's right, you're not going to be the nation's favorite victims anymore. From Central America, our government under Barack Hussein Obama, they've been importing by the thousands an entirely new underclass of Central Americans. And pretty soon, liberals are not going to need for black people to serve as the useful idiots that we've been serving as for the last 50 years, with nothing to show for it, I might add. We're going to, if this works, if amnesty goes through, and this de facto amnesty by importing so many Central Americans and Mexicans and what have you, and who the hell knows who else is mixed in there, a few terrorists. If the government succeeds, because there is no opposition party, the Republicans, they're all in. If the government succeeds at importing an entirely new underclass, and there's enough of them, black people won't be useful idiots anymore. We'll be useless idiots. Totally useless. So the 95% of you that vote loyally for this party and this president and you're so proud of them, pretty soon you're going to be played out. You are not going to be the nation's favorite victims, and yeah, well, you might like it because you'll have something new to complain about and someone new to hate, because you spend most of your life hating white people for no particular reason. But I don't know, maybe you can hate the new underclass for taking your place on the bottom. That's driven by liberal policies, the party that the party that you've loyally supported for 50 years. You are still on the bottom. And there's a new underclass coming. And so guess what? Unless you learn to start thinking, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You keep voting the way you're voting, and you're going to wind up the most hurt by the people you're voting for, because unskilled labor, those jobs are going to go to the new underclass, not you. Because these people will have a new attitude, they'll work hard, and without all the attitude. No thugs, no Shaniquas, no bad attitude, none of that stuff. Employers will probably much rather deal with the new imports. So you keep doing what you're doing, because you won't be the useful idiots anymore. You will be completely useless and just an idiot by your own doing. Thanks for your time. My name is Trez Burton. You can hit me up on Twitter at Trezidential. And hey, shoot me an email. Trezidential@reagan.com. Thank you.